2025 is upon us, and already we're seeing how intense things are. But in 2025, friends, things are going to become intense, making 2025 a year that goes down in history like no other year before us. Today, I'm going to break down some of my top feelings and predictions for 2025, along with a breakdown of timelines in which I feel will be the most prominent times of events going on around the globe in 2025. This is a preview of my 2025 forecasting predictions. Beautiful souls, beautiful tribe. I hope you're having a great day today. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman JT. I welcome you with open arms and big old air hugs. Down below in the description, you'll find all the links to all my social media, including Spotify, Rumble, and the Awaken Your Spirit Subscribe Star platform of supporters who help make this content possible for everybody else. I thank you for making this possible with infinite loving gratitude. Down below, also sign up for the free newsletter because I'll be doing a private event in early December, mid-December, with 3-hour Zoom event for predictions for supporters who wish to support and be a part of it. I will post that in the newsletter for November and on the website. You can find more information out about myself at josephtittel.com or preferably spiritmanjt.com. It's easier to remember. Can't mess that one up. So let us move on to my preview of the 2025 forecast and predictions. As we step into 2025, we're also going to be stepping into the 9 universal year in the realm of numerology. And the 9 vibration is all about the end of cycles. So therefore, in turn, we could actually witness a lot of different health issues and a lot of different diseases coming to the surface. We can also look at this as a positive light. We can look at this as this is a great time to clear these things once and for all. The 9 vibration is all about removal. It's all about endings. It's all about death of cycles, making this the perfect year for you and all of us to eliminate anything that needs to be eliminated, like eliminate habits, like, for example, smoking, or other negative habits or other negative patterns that have been holding you back from opening up to your fullest potential. The 9's good for that. The 9 can actually assist us in clearing things and making it a little bit easier. Not that it's going to be easy, but the 9 vibration, without doubt, can help make it easier so that we can clear things, again, once and for all. Get rid of them. Go and get rid of use the 9 vibration to your advantage to get rid of these things. So expect the 9 vibration in itself to bring about a lot of endings, whether they're personal, but mainly universal in the world. It's a very potent time on the planet Earth. Very potent time, not just in numerology, astrology, just all the energies in itself is just, it's intense, friends. It's going to be a very, very intense year. It's inevitable. So it's a potent time on our planet where all these old systems, they're crashing. We all know it. We've been feeling it and witnessing it already in the past few years, especially when it comes to things like currencies and the crashing of monetary systems. We're even going to witness smaller countries crashing, their small governments crashing completely. And somewhat like in 2024, we're also going to witness a lot of assassination attempts, a lot of people being attempted to be taken out after witnessing so many corrupt leaders that we're going to witness falling out of power once again, one after another. It's going to be very, very interesting. And it is an ending. It's an ending of a cycle. A big ending of a cycle. So the 9 vibration may sound a little negative to some people, but it really can be very, very positive. Indeed, it has both positive and negative attributes, just like you and I and everything else on our planet. Everything's a battery, positive and negative. So the positive that could come from the 9 representation is that there's so many challenges and endings that are going to follow with new beginnings. That's what makes it more exciting. New systems that are going to go into place, and other positives as well. We can also hold in the light and perhaps that the 9 vibration can bring the end to these current conflicts that we're seeing over there in Europe, the Middle East. It's very, very possible for this to happen in the 9 vibration. it can bring about peace, the endings of conflict. We can hold that in the light, even though I'm feeling right at this point that that's not going to be the case, but we can still shift things by focusing on positive things for our future. And I have to be honest here, as always, I feel that 2025 is going to be a total crap show as far as the world stage is concerned. A total, complete crap show. Moving into 2025, we need to do so without any fear, because we need to know that these systems will and must crash and collapse completely in order for the world to open up to new, more amazing possibilities, which is also ahead in our future. More people are going to awaken in the year 2025 than those that awakened in 2020, according to my spirit guides. And that says a lot, because 2020 was a huge awakening year. So what's going to occur in 2025 that's going to make it even more that people awaken? It's going to be interesting. This is where all the amazingness is going to happen, friends. It's going to be amazing when people begin to step into our power, take off those blinders, and push for a better planet for all of us, like we deserve and like our kids, grandkids, and all those in the future deserve. Health, again, can play a very big role in the 9 vibration. So keep in mind, with the 9 being about endings and clearing away the old, the health-related issues are going to rise. And this is purposely so that we can focus on clearing them once and for all. And with that said, I feel that there's going to be a return of several diseases and outbreaks. And this is just an example, like polio. And again, that's just an example, as polio is actually already returned along the Gaza Strip. But something different. Spirit said something different. Didn't get any details, including other outbreaks related to flu and other outbreaks like that, and outbreaks from mosquito-borne illnesses. So I'm very much pulled to Europe, Ukraine, Poland, and those surrounding areas. And then I'm separately focused very strongly on China. And I feel like some type of outbreak in China that thankfully I feel is going to stay in China. Let's keep it there. We don't want it. So also revolved around health. I would expect to see amazing breakthroughs and cures in many diseases with amazing advancements in stem cell technology and some new breakthroughs that involve stem cells and something new, something amazing I was feeling that Spirit was showing me that takes stem cells to an entire new level. It felt really exciting. So 2025 is a year we can hold in the light that many diseases are going to disappear. And with that 9 vibration, it's all about endings, friends. And it's all about letting go and clearing things once and for all. So let us all hold in the light, because I think it'd be the most amazing if we could finally see an ending to cancer. It's possible in the 9 vibration. I see some type of housing issues hitting both the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and eventually crossing across the globe. Spirit shows me, I saw a vision of a really huge sign. And in big red bold letters, I saw housing crisis. And it looked like the paint was dripping. It looked creepy. It looked like something out of a horror movie, actually. But that's what I saw in my vision. Big sign with housing crisis below it. And it was like dripping with red paint. So I'm going to say that it's going to be a combination of this increasing living and housing costs, the overabundance of people rushing through countries and into countries, mostly the not-so-legals, crossing into countries, towns, and cities, that's going to bring about one crisis after another. Some of those crises will be revolved not just about the housing, but also around these outbreaks that are coming up in 2025 as well. So there's also going to be legislation being pushed in 2025 against artificial intelligence. Spirit said to watch this very closely, as some countries are going to attempt to sneak in shady items into these bills that will give governments more power to use artificial intelligence for themselves while attempting to stop the rest of us from doing so. Sounds like something the United States would do for sure. So artificial intelligence is going to become a much larger focus in 2025, especially after new AI technology rolls out in early 2025 that is way more creepier than what we already are currently aware of. Also, you got to remember to keep in mind that what we're currently aware of and what we already have, our governments have their hands on, and the big corporation, on technology that's way more advanced than that. So it's going to be very interesting in 2025 when it comes to artificial intelligence. I see a lot of problems that are going to be coming in the realm of the power grids. A big focus of 2025 is going to be the very fragile infrastructure, mainly power grids and energy. With rising conflicts in the power of the 9 vibration, this very well and very likely is going to be a year of great conflicts. Perhaps even World War III. It's very, very possible in that 9 vibration of 2025, along with what we're seeing in the world currently. And in my opinion, it would also be, if we were to pick any vibration for the great conflict to break out across the world, out of all the numbers, I'd say the 9 would be the number that would bring it about. Most likely. We'll have to see and pray that it doesn't happen in the near future. This next one can be quite concerning because it goes back to things that spirits have been warning us about since 2020. I see problems when it comes to goods, shipping goods, and problems with ports across the globe. Some are going to be related to new conflicts and attacks specifically on ports, but also weather events that affect and even take out one important port. I don't know which one or where. Perhaps here in the United States, California. But we're going to see a lot of this in 2025. And Spirit has been urging us since 2020 to stock up and to be prepared for any situation, right? Spirit's been telling us that. Now that we're approaching 2025, where this is much more apparent, it's going to become much more apparent that we do need to stock up, especially when we continue to see problems with all these different case scenarios with ports, our goods, and even farm goods. Spirit's showing me outbreaks when it comes to certain farm goods. For example, in 2025, peppers will be one of them. Tomatoes will be another one in certain countries and certain areas. And I'll get more information as we approach and step into 2025. But it's going to be a big year. So again, always make sure that you're stocked up and prepared for any case scenario. I feel that there's going to be a very huge jump in the price of crude oil, but I also saw it being followed by a large drop in crude oil, depending, of course, in which part of the world that you happen to be in. And I cannot help but to feel that there's going to be huge sabotages, like we saw with the Nordic pipeline, right? Things like that. I see several major disasters revolved around chemical and oil spills and other types of disasters related to that. I also see huge fires and visions of huge fires around pipelines, like a pipeline explosion or pipeline being blown up, more like it, and even drill sites where they're pulling the oil from, and I see huge fires around that. So it's going to be really interesting when it comes to the realm of energy in 2025. Many folks will probably enjoy this next prediction because it's revolved around Bill Gates. Bill Gates has already been a target of huge controversy, and he's already now been indicted in the Netherlands, if you have not heard. Totally indicted. He won't be going to the Netherlands anytime soon. So this is because people have and continue to awaken. And I see Bill Gates in a vision, and he didn't look very happy in this vision, friends. He looked very aggravated and annoyed. And it appeared to me in this vision that these were hearings, and he was being asked questions that he did not want to answer. I have a strong feeling that we are going to be seeing a lot of hearings, like Senate hearings and things like that and such, where people are being called out on their crap in 2025. Finally calling out, people like Gates for their lies and their corruption. That's one good thing we can look forward to in 2025, is seeing the corruption in the justice system come together. The justice system to finally take down that corruption. And governments and senates holding hearings. pulling these guilty parties in front of the public to speak. It's going to be interesting. That will be a circus show that'll be very entertaining to watch. I would also expect to tell you to expect shocking arrests in 2025. And I've been saying this for a while, and it's been happening. We saw that throughout 2025. We saw it since 2024, actually, and going back to the whole Epstein arrest and things related to that. But I feel more shocking arrests are coming. First, we're going to see them revolved around both the Epstein files and the P. Diddy case. Arrests of more corrupt politicians, while the corrupt are actually going to attempt to throw the innocent behind bars. So we must remain very mindful of the circus show that we're attending, because it's going to be a circus show. And there's going to be more and more and traffic allegations, if you know what I mean. And we're going to see this erupting from Hollywood. We're going to see controversy around people like Will Smith, Leonardo DiCaprio, and many others. It's going to be, again, a very entertaining year when it comes to all these different arrests and all these different things that are being presented to us in 2025. Speaking of arrests and past channel predictions, you may remember that I saw visions of people being rounded up and being put on buses. And rounded up means they don't want to go, kind of thing. Rounded up and being put on buses and being taken away. I don't know where they were being taken. Looking at this closer, I would believe that this could likely be because Trump wins the election, as I predicted, and rounding up people, including some rounding up of gangs I saw visions of when I was preparing this. I saw a rounding up of gangs, and I saw extreme gang violence. And I even see a vision of what appears to me to be military forces going in against these violent armed gangs. I don't know where I was, but part of me felt like part of this is in the United States. But I feel like it's coming, friends. It's coming. And on the same topic, but in a different prediction, I see cartel comes to mind very strongly. You know, the global drug cartel. Another huge focus in 2025 as we witness the fall of one very large cartel organization, perhaps even likely connected to my vision of military involvement, because that would be connected as well. So that'll be interesting to see the cartel and all those that get the little ones caught up in traffic finally facing the justice system in 2025. In 2025, North Korea is going to become more and more of a threat to not just South Korea, but to the world. As North Koreans, which we know, and I told you this was happening, and now we know for a fact that it's happened, that North Korea has aligned with Russia, and it's easy to allege that they aligned with China as well. I see activities, and I see explosions along the borders of North Korea and South Korea. I also see some type of missile strikes occurring behind the borders of North Korea. And I can't help but to actually feel that it may be United States who are the ones orchestrating strikes against North Korea in 2025. I had visions backed by very strong feelings of military movement right here within the United States. At the same time, I feel this up in Canada as well, which isn't in my notes, but I just got this overwhelming feeling that this is going to go for Canada as well. I see ships along the west coast of the United States, big ships, big military ships, and I see them all around the U.S. coastlines up to Alaska. I feel this very strong presence of troops in California, Oregon, and all the way up the coast. And oddly, I also felt in Utah. I don't know why. It's not really on the coast, but I felt a lot of military movement in Utah. Likely because they got some bases there and underground bases in Utah. So let's hope this doesn't come. I didn't see any kind of conflict, but that's enough to make you think that they're heading towards conflict. Let's hope not, and let's hope for the best for this country and all the rest of the countries around the world in 2025. We have already seen so many issues revolved around the borders, whether it be the borders of the United States or the borders of the UK or any other country. The only ones that are keeping them out are Poland. More people probably want to move to Poland because Poland's not letting any of them in. Hasn't and will not. Well, I see huge problems at the borders. And Poland's putting themselves in a predicament when it comes to them being a target by the United Nations, the WEF, and of course, NATO. So Poland needs to watch it. Even though they may be thinking they're doing good things by keeping their borders closed, like all of us should actually, but we're not. And therefore, there's going to be huge problems around the borders here in the United States and abroad. And I had visions of different borders being guarded by military. In some type of conflict, I saw a vision of igniting at a border. And I saw chaos, and I heard shots being fired, lots of them. And I saw people running away from the border. I don't know where I was, what country I was in, but it didn't look good. So let's pray that things don't go as bad as they feel like they're going to go when we hit 2025. Now let us move on to the times, the windows of time, where I feel major events and major things can be expected to happen in 2025. 2025 is going to already kick off in a very chaotic energy because in December we have the direct Mercury retrograde, the energy shift. All kinds of chaos is already going to be happening in December. So when we step in, the energy is already going to be chaotic, especially when it comes to the energy over top of the United States of America. That feels even more chaotic to me than anywhere, besides the Middle East and Europe, of course. So I would not at all be surprised, as I predicted in the past, that we see martial law being called in certain areas, in some cities, due to the chaos here in the United States. Maybe perhaps even in the United Kingdom as well, and perhaps even up in Canada. I had past visions of protests, fires, attacks on police, and just a huge mess. Sound familiar? Sort of like 2020, but a lot worse than 2020 is what I feel. And so let us all hold it in the light. The best possible scenarios that play out in 2025. Because really, as of now, it's not feeling very pleasant for the world and when it comes to world events. And remember, it doesn't have to affect you personally the same way. It's what you make out of it and how you roll along with these waves and ride these waves like a pro surfer, baby. Ride them because they're flowing in like never before in 2025. Times and dates in 2025 that we will see huge significant events taking place, both with conflict, weather, earth events that are going to hit right around and around spring equinox. That's the first big period of time besides January. Next period of time to look for is right around spring equinox. So that's going to be spring equinox here in the northern hemisphere, of course, which is fall equinox, autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere. So we're going to look towards that window of time from March, right around March 13th till the end of March. And then Spirit pulled me again to the time right around Easter holiday from April 15th to April 25th. The next window of time is going to be the summer months, starting with July, taking us into the second week of August. I see major California fires hitting during this window of time, along with more fires hitting Canada, Alaska, and parts of South America, Chile, Peru, and Brazil. It's going to be fires, metaphorically speaking, that are also going to burn in the White House in America at this time, this window of time during the summer months. But whatever is happening, it feels to me that it's bringing people together to stand against something big, something huge. Likely it's people standing together against conflict and war. That would be most likely. Kind of reminds me of the protests during Vietnam. Not that I was alive then, but I seen it in TVs and movies, kind of like that. That's what it reminded me of. So let's hope that's not at all the case, but it very likely could be the case, especially during that window of time. So likely conflict and war. Also expect huge activities from the sun in that window of time, July and August. Activity that's going to have an effect on electronics and some smaller power grids on this earth, on the earth side that's facing these flares that come in. The skies are going to light up with colors unlike anything that we've witnessed thus far. And the skies are sadly also going to light up when it comes to conflict. Missiles flying through the skies, boom booms and explosions all over the planet. Not something really to look very much forward to. So let's hold in the light that it does not happen, because I'd rather these predictions not come into fruition. Another very intense time window for 2025 is going to be the month of November. And I would tell you to expect something huge around UFO disclosure and major sky events. 2025 in all is going to be a huge year for UFO disclosure and events. But Spirit warns, friends, be aware of the agenda behind these disclosure events and the fake events projected into your skies. Another crash landing UFO caught on camera going viral. But will it be a staged event? Sure will. So be mindful. Especially now with AI and all the technologies, you never know what they're going to try to pull off. So November is going to be a big time for that. But throughout the whole year, and I would expect stuff in January too. This reminds me of past visions I had where we would see UFOs in a battle type situation. I had visions of UFOs shooting dudes, direct energy weapons, exactly what they were, and shooting them out of the UFOs. And we already know how some of these events, like major fires, have suddenly came into fruition. The manipulation of storms and weather that there's patents on, so don't say it's conspiracy. There are patents on this owned by NASA and the United States government and even Bill Gates. So it's all real. And that's more and more what people are going to awaken to. And they're going to get really fed up. We're already fed up, but it's going to take a little bit more to get the rest of the world awakened and fed up. But it's happening, and we're going to see a whole lot of it in 2025. Let me jump back to July for a moment, 2025. Another month significant when it comes to sky events, UFOs and new discoveries in our sky and our solar system. Even the potential discovery, well, there will be a discovery, Spirit says, of a new planet, and then also a discovery of an entire new galaxy with amazing footage in the visions I saw being revealed in July. July 2025 will be the 7 universal month. So the 7 universal month in numerology is all about spiritual ascension. It's all about shifting what you believe in. So making July a perfect month for the global elite to launch some type of flag event, you know, those flags that fly ever so falsely, that is meant to change people's views and change your beliefs. So watch what happens in July 2025 and don't fall for it, friends. Don't fall for it. August of 2025 will be the 8 vibrational month. And the 8 vibrations all about money, the economy, finances, infinite possibilities. It's a month where we will see big drops in markets, especially moving into September. September is going to be the double 9 vibration. That's double the power of endings, death of cycles. So therefore, I would also tell you to expect a major world event at the end of August, likely early September, that will be responsible for thousands, maybe tens of thousands of casualties. Perhaps I feel multiple events around that window of time. Everything from conflicts, from bombings, fear attacks launched in several cities, and earthquakes or weather events that are responsible for taking many, many, many lives. So again, always be mindful, especially when it comes to weather events, so that you have an escape plan if you need one. And speaking of weather events, you often hear me always tell you that October is a reflection of next year, both personally, whatever your personal numerology is, and then universally. So here's an example. So we're in an 8 universal year in 2024. October is a 9 universal month because you add the year we're in with the number of the month that we're in. Next year is a 9 universal year. See the reflection, the connection? So this month, living in the 9 vibration, what we see and what we feel, again, both personally and universally, is pretty much going to show us what's in store for us in the coming year. So think of this on the global scale. October started off how? It started off in a blaze, friends. October started off first with the most terrible weather events, like especially hurricanes, We saw Hurricane Helene. We saw Hurricane John. We saw many other storms and typhoons and even tornadoes that left behind a path of destruction. So I'm calling this one way early. In 2024, I'm calling for 2025 that it's going to bring about the worst storms, the worst hurricanes, and the worst typhoon season that we've ever seen on record. And I see visions of massive beach corrosion and erosion and unprecedented flooding in these visions and destruction. Mexico, United States, Brazil, Australia, parts of the Middle East, and even flood events in the United Kingdom. It is going to be as if no one's pretty much safe when it comes to especially manipulated storm systems, topped off with events of destruction, unfortunately. So again, be aware and always be prepared. For some reason, lately, the date January 6th keeps popping out to me. And I'm not saying that it's another event like we witnessed at the Capitol on that date, but it keeps strongly popping out at me, this date. So separately, I feel like something's going on around that date, January 6th. I also feel that there's some kind of issues happening around the inauguration of the president in the United States in January. Perhaps even a potential attack of some sort. And again, I feel that there's going to be fear attacks that are going to hit Washington, D.C. in 2025. In a past vision, I had visions of major separation and tensions happening in the Senate. Remember that? Well, if you've been following me long enough, I saw even a point where in a vision, I saw many people stand up and walk right out of the sessions. And I would say this is not just the United States either. But Senate hearings and, government hearings. And I see people standing up and walking out in protest. So some are actually even going to resign over this big thing that happens. So there's going to be a lot of anger and a lot of arguing and fighting when it comes to senates and governments. It's a collapse, friends, and that's what happens. So 2025 and that 9 vibration of 2025 would make the most sense than any number for these events to come into play here in the United States and in Washington, D.C. I also see 3-letter agencies becoming a huge focus of some sort, where many are going to be forced to resign from the CIA and FBI and other big organizations. And remember, this is just a small preview, friends. This is just a small preview of what's ahead in the year 2025. My predictions for 2025 will be put out in December on a private platform. Be sure to sign up to my newsletter down below so that you can maybe support and join that event. Otherwise, the predictions for 2025 will be put out in different videos starting on New Year's Day, as always. I'm sure I'll do a top 2025 predictions at the end of December. We still got plenty of time left, but I wanted to tap into 2025 to give you an idea of what's ahead for us in the coming year. Be sure to smash that thumbs up love button because it helps the algorithms get this information out to others, helps our tribe to grow, friends. Until the next time, remember you can catch me every Tuesday for Tuesday's Tittle Tea Time Predictions Update, where we talk about world events, how they may or may not relate to predictions and prophecy with new predictions each and every week. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate it with infinite love and gratitude. Remember to celebrate life and celebrate you. Remember, you are in the control of your future. Your thoughts and words are the blueprints to your future. So always focus on the positive of where you want your life to go. The world may be chaotic, but it doesn't mean that chaos has to reap in your own personal life. And remember, always, friends, be bold, be true, be kind, be you. Let your light shine. And I will see you in the future. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Much love.